Hello everyone, Modest Ciclada. Now today, Black Ops 7 literally drops tomorrow. So in this video, I'm going to give you my final thoughts about Black Ops 6. I'm going to be talking about the campaign, the multiplayer, the zombies, the events, and anything else that I can think of. Starting off with the campaign, now, I will admit, I know a lot of people out there did not like the campaign whatsoever, but in my personal opinion, I think it's the best campaign we had since World War II, and World War II campaign is my favourite campaign. I think the missions were really fun to do, especially that one big, massive mission in, I think, Iraq, I think it is. You know, you have to go to different locations to destroy, like, SAM turrets, I think, or something along the lines like that. But it just felt like DMZ again, and I actually liked DMZ from Modern Warfare 2. But in all fairness, though, I don't think there is a bad Call of Duty campaign. I know a few people didn't like Ghost or Vanguard, but I don't really think there was a bad campaign. I think my favourite thing about the campaign, though, for Black Ops 6 is the cash system, you know, where you can go to different missions and you can collect cash throughout the entire mission, and you can use that cash to buy upgrades like more armor plates or more damage, and I really like that a lot, and I feel like that's something that we should have in other Call of Duty campaigns. We kind of had it in Black Ops 3's campaign, but it's a bit more different because I think they use like points instead of actually using cash. So I think the cash system is a really cool feature, and I generally think that we should have this in other campaigns. Up and there, oh my god. The different characters I really like. For example, Marshall, I think, is a really cool character. Felix, I think that's that German guy name. I generally don't remember his name. I haven't played the campaign since, well, before Season 1 was a thing. The main character himself, Case, I just don't like a character, especially the main character, when they just don't talk, you know? And we had it in Cold War where I think his name is Bell. Yeah, it is Bell. He doesn't talk. You can only hear them grunting when they get shot or when they fall off in a cutscene. And we just, you know, again, we just didn't see Case, and we didn't hear him talk, which I don't really like that. I generally think that these, you know, characters should talk in a campaign, especially a Black Ops campaign, because every single campaign for Black Ops 1, 2, and 3, and World at War, the main characters spoke. But Cold War, Bell didn't speak, Case didn't speak in Black Ops 6, Black Ops 4 didn't even have a campaign. I mean, in some games it makes sense, you know, like Poppy Playtime, Undertale, FNAF, you know, those characters don't talk. However, it makes sense why they don't talk. Unlike Black Ops 6, where the main character should talk. Other than that, there's not really much else to say, apart from the campaign is absolutely amazing. I love it a lot. And I wouldn't even put it in like my top 5 favourite campaigns of all time, simply because that's how much I enjoyed it. But if I'm going to rank the campaign on a scale from 1 to 10, I'm going to give it an easy 8 out of 10. It was really good. There are some flaws, like I have mentioned, you know, like the main character not talking. But apart from that, I think it's great, especially in that one mission where we have to fight zombies and it plays 115 and, you know, Raining in the Fire as well. I love that so much. Up next is the multiplayer. I'm not going to go and say that I don't like the multiplayer. I generally did, surprisingly. I think in recent times, I've just gone way worse at, you know, multiplayer games where you have to fight other players. You know, for example, Fortnite, I've gone way worse at Fortnite. I've gone worse at Warzone. I've gone worse at Apex Legends. I've gone worse at a lot of games. But for this multiplayer, I didn't mind it. It was weird because I don't know if I never knew if skill-based matchmaking was a thing in Black Ops 6, but if it is, yeah, what the hell is that? I feel like I can get, you know, a KD of 6 in one game in Stakeout, but the next game I can get killed so many times I get an average KD of 0.7, and I'm just scratching my head and trying to comprehend what has happened in those 2 matches. Guns in multiplayer, in my personal opinion, at the start were broken. I mean, SMGs dominated multiplayer. You had the KSV, absolutely broken, the C9, the Tanto, the Compact, some deadly SMGs, and they just never nerfed them until, like, I don't know, actually, like 2 seasons in, I think. But even then, they were still broken after the nerfs. But then again, it really does depend what kind of pace and how you're playing. If you're going for kills, you most likely want to use an SMG or a shotgun. If you're camping, you're going to use like an LMG, an assault rifle, or a sniper rifle. And if you're playing the objective, you're most likely going to use either an assault rifle or an LMG or an SMG, depending on what, you know, game mode you're playing. If that's domination, kill confirmed, hardpoint, search and destroy. It depends really what game mode you're playing. Every gun is there for a different style of play, which I did like. Even though that I did say that I've gone worse at shooter games, I do go and play fast paced, especially with the SMGs. Even played fast paced during the beta for Black Ops 7. And I think that's because I'm used to going fast paced in those Call of Duty games, while with other games I'm more of a slow paced person. But I don't know, that's more of a me thing. The maps on the other hand, some were pretty good, some were F tier maps, like literally the top 5 worst maps in multiplayer history. I mean, I don't really know because I mainly played Nuketown and Stakeout. Those are the only 2 maps I played, so I never really give like the other maps a chance, like, you know, the season 3 maps or the season 4, 5, 6 maps. I never really gave them a chance because I never really played them. But I only played Stakeout and Nuketown. Those are the only 2 maps I played because I'm not a big fan of the Black Ops 6 maps for multiplayer. Even though some of them are pretty good, some just doesn't work in Black Ops 6. Other than that though, the multiplayer experience is, you know, pretty good. It has its ups and downs, but I didn't really mind it. Although, if I have to give it a rating out of 10, I'll probably give it a 7.5 out of 10. You know, not bad, but again, there's quite a lot of flaws that made me realise that this multiplayer isn't the best. And for the zombies, whew, where do I start? The maps. Put my hands up. We had some really good maps. The Reckoning, Shattered Veil, Citadel des Morts, Terminus. Some really great A tier to S tier maps. Liberty Falls was pretty good, and the Tomb... my personal favourite, if you don't know already, is Shattered Veil. Beautiful! I think the Easter eggs are really easy to follow if you are watching a guide. If you're doing it bare bones, good fucking luck. However, replayability wise just wasn't there for me because once I'd done the Easter egg, I never really went back to those maps again. Like, I barely touched Terminus. I think the last time I'd played Terminus was probably, I think, like season 4 when I tried to get that calling card. The guns on zombies weren't really powerful because you're spending, what, 9,000 salvage to get to legendary, 55,000 points? Or is it 50,000? Yeah, 50,000 points to get to Pack-a-Punch 3, and all that time will probably take you up until round 30, where the gun is just weak. Also, direct mode being a thing for Black Ops 6, I mean, I don't mind it, but it kind of beats the point of grinding for camos and calling cards. I feel like what they could have done is, you know, keep the round system keep going, but instead, you know, having armor that is like 2 times stronger than the original armor, or having 600 or 500 HP instead. So, you know, the newer players who are a bit more casual than, you know, the more experienced players don't have to worry about struggling to get to round 40 or round 50 even. This zombies was very easy. I mean, I got to Liberty Falls, the Tomb, and Shattered Veil to around 100. While the older Call of Duty zombies are a bit more harder, you know, taking hours and hours, like 7 to 8 hours. I mean, when I got to around 100 Ascensions, it took me near enough 8 hours to beat. Having the save file feature, I actually liked it, but I hate how when you pause the game, you have 15 minutes before it kicks you out. That I do not like whatsoever, because I like to like be paused at the menu for about like 20 minutes, and I go do something like, you know, stand up, go for a little walk, you know, have a bit of a fresh air, and then I come back and then I'm just kicked out of the game, and that annoys me a lot. Especially if you're trying to get up a guide and you know you're watching the guide and you know you keep pausing, you know, to get to one bit or understand what you have to do next, and then all of a sudden you have 2 minutes left before you get kicked out and you're not even halfway through the Easter egg. Melee Macchiato, the new perk that they added for Black Ops 6, was very useless. I think unless you're camo grinding for your melee weapons, there's no point using it outside of Ciudad des Morts. Speaking of camo grinding, oh my god, it was easy, especially for direct. Like, Jesus Christ. In the end, I'm missing the chainsaw and the meat cleaver to Nebula, and I got every single melee weapon and gun to Nebula, which I think is a joke, by the way. Not only that, this was the first ever zombies where I actually completed all of the calling cards, because you know when you pause the game, it shows you, you know, your daily tasks, what badge you need to get next, like what medal, like, you know, for 3,000 critical kills or something like that with a gun, or, you know, what calling card you need or what camo you need next. That feature I actually really liked so much. Probably one of my more favourite features about Black Ops 6 Zombies is of that, because it's so useful. Having the Gobblegums back as well is... I mean, I didn't mind it, you know. I never really used the Gobblegums other than that one event where you have to, I think, chew like 50 Gobblegums to get the certain rewards, and using Wonder Bar to get a Wonder Weapon for the Easter egg. Those are the only times I used a Gobblegum. Outside of that, I never used Gobblegums because I never really see the point in using Gobblegums. I mean, for Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4, I just use the classical stuff because, you know, they are there, it's perfect to use them, and they're free. And I kind of wish for Black Ops 7 they had free Gobblegums again, because it's kind of annoying that they don't, and, you know, the least one is the rare one, and even though I have about, like, 70 to 80 different rare ones, I kind of want, you know, classicals back, you know, the free ones. Even if it's like, you know, a crappy one, like you can use in plain sight once, or end of it here once, you know, like you can use an ability for once, or, you know, using an easy kill for 15 seconds instead of 30, you know, something like that, you know, to nerf the Gobblegums, but they're free just in case you need to use them. Also, having 3 Gobblegums activated at once, yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. I'm really not. I kind of, you know, miss the old system where you go to a Gobblegum, you get 1 Gobblegum. If you use it, you use it. If you don't, you can, you know, respin it again to get a different one. I like that. Not only that, they kind of like buffed up the time for the Gobblegum machine, because I think it's like 15 seconds to get a Gobblegum machine, and it's at any round now. So you can keep spinning the Gobblegum machine for like 20 times at like round 2. Other than that, I actually really enjoyed Zombies. It's so nice to play a decent zombie mode again. Although the replayability just wasn't there for me. Unlike Cold War, you had other stuff to do, like Outbreak and Dead Up Arcades. Like those game modes you would always go back to play, even though Cold War had 4 maps, 2 of which are from the campaign. I think Cold War Zombies, you know, you had more things to do. But in Black Ops 6, you only had 6 maps, which I kind of wish they added more. That's why I really want Chronicles 2 to be a thing in either Black Ops 7 or Black Ops 6. With all that I said for Zombies, if I have to give a rating for Black Ops 6 on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give it an easy 9. You know, I really enjoy Black Ops 6 Zombies a lot. But there are a few things that I just wasn't a fan of that I think can be improved. But other than that, though, I really enjoyed Black Ops 6 Zombies. The events, some were, when I was signing on, the majority of them are very repetitive. I didn't really like them, and I'm not a big fan of the mini battle pass they did. I really hated that, especially the collaborations they done, like Chucky. What else? You had, what, I think Predator as well. Squid Games. I don't even know. They did so many collaborations. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as well. Beavis and Butthead. They had so many random collaborations that they didn't need. And they had them, which I actually hate so much. Oh yeah, don't forget American Dad as well. Like, they had so many stupid collaborations that they just didn't need, but they did it anyways, and I generally hate that so much. Like, for example, the monster collaboration they do. You know, you buy a monster can, you put in the code, you get like a 15-second free XP token, which I don't mind that, you know. You know, it's kind of like a sponsorship. But something like having Squid Games or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, those collaborations I hate so much, and that's probably what ruined Black Ops 6 in the first place, those ridiculous collaborations that we just didn't need. That's what's ruined Black Ops 6 entirely. Fortnite collaborations, you know, I make sense, those for kids, but you think of Call of Duty, you would think of collaborations with like action movies, something like that, you know, like Baby Driver, or John Wick, which I'm pretty sure they did, or Hitman, or Fast and Furious, you know, those collaborations that have pure action pack, you would think those have the collaborations, and you know, you would be right. That's perfect, that fits the theme for Black Ops 6, a shooter game. But having Beavis and Butthead, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, just doesn't fit the theme because those are for kids, which doesn't make sense whatsoever. Another thing that they did badly was the AI. They used AI, and even though, you know, they said that they didn't, they did, because of that one loading screen where you see like the Santa zombie claws with 6 fingers. Also, when you log in, you get that little like news thing on the tab at the top. They had a mouse cursor, which I mentioned in one of my shorts. I feel like for Black Ops 6, they were just really, really lazy with it. And it's a shame because at launch, the game was the most popular Call of Duty game of all time at launch. Because, you know, everyone said that Treyarch was the last hope for Call of Duty. And I think that as well. I thought Black Ops 6 was, you know, the last hope for Call of Duty. And I will admit, Black Ops 6 was way more enjoyable than the Modern Warfare games that we had. But they just kind of ruined it at the same time. Them using AI, unnecessary collaborations that just don't really fit the theme of Call of Duty, them being lazy, not a lot of updates, it just shows that they kind of gave up with Black Ops 6 because they were focusing on Black Ops 7. That's why I'm going to say this, doing a back-to-back Call of Duty game ruined a Call of Duty game as the previous. Modern Warfare 2, look at that, that game is terrible. And then they did Modern Warfare 3, which is even more terrible. I'm not saying that Black Ops 7 will be terrible. I'm just saying that they need to be careful what they do because they could easily ruin Black Ops 7 with ease with one bad mistake. Even though I know a lot of people say that Black Ops 7 is dead, I'm wasting my money by buying Black Ops 7. And quite frankly, I don't care because I'm always going to buy a Black Ops game. I've been playing Black Ops since I was 2 years old, 15 years ago. Also for Black Ops 6 as well, I will admit, by Season 5, I got really bored of the game. I really did, because we just didn't really have a lot of fresh things, especially for zombies. Like, we had some good maps, but again, like I said, replayability-wise, just weren't there. And it's a big shame because I really did enjoy, you know, Black Ops 6, but it just got really boring, and I think it's because I just weren't a big fan of, you know, multiplayer that much. Even though I said I liked it, I wouldn't always go back to play it. Zombies, again, I would only play direct mode to get Nebula or the calling cards, hence why I spent 2 seasons trying to get all of the calling cards. And I think for Black Ops 7, I think it's going to be really great. I really think that's going to be an amazing Call of Duty game. Because, you know, it's the first ever futuristic Call of Duty game we had since Black Ops 4. And that game came out in, what, 2018? Other than that, we had, you know, a World War II game, 3 modern era warfare games, a Cold War era game, and a 90s game. Other than that, we haven't had a futuristic Call of Duty since. And that is 6 Call of Duties since the last futuristic one. But other than that, if I have to give Black Ops 6 a proper rating on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give the game a 8.2 out of 10. I really did enjoy Black Ops 6. However, they did ruin their game and I got bored of it near the end, which, you know, makes sense, I guess, because they are focusing on Black Ops 7, like I did mention. But they did a lot of stuff which ruined the game, like I said. Weird collaborations, AI, being lazy, not enough updates, not enough balance changes. They didn't really focus a lot on those changes, and they just focus on making money. And that's what it is nowadays. Companies only care about making money now. They don't put love into the game that they used to. They care about making money or a profit. For Black Ops 6 as well, I only experienced 2 bugs. One bug was in Season 5 when I couldn't use zip lines, and the other bug is when Ciudad des Mortos came out, where one of the elite zombies trapped me in a wall. Other than that, I had no other bugs whatsoever. The game ran smoothly. I never really had any complaints, apart from, again, the random collaboration, the random AI, which wasn't really a problem for me. I know a lot of newer games do use AI, and again, AI isn't a problem for me, but it just kind of shows that they're being lazy now. And also, for Black Ops 7, may I just say, I won't be making full-blown videos. Like I mentioned in my Chill and Play video, quite frankly, I actually can't be arsed making full-blown videos. So for Black Ops 7, you will only see thoughts, top 10, worst to best, and guides. Those are the only 4 things you would see. I might do a little few videos showcasing Black Ops Zombies or maybe the seasons, but that is very unlikely because, like I said, I'm only going to do those 4 things that I mentioned. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, then of course subscribe and helps out a massive ton. Just remember that I will be making Black Ops 7 videos, but not as much. So just wait until I make a guide, or a worst to best, or a top 5, or top 10, or my thoughts. I will probably make my thoughts for Black Ops 7 probably in the first month when it came out. So that's probably the only time you'll see me do a Black Ops 7 video, unless I do a guide for, you know, the newer zombie maps, which are coming soon. But like I said, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you're subscribing, because it helps out a ton. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!